first panel for a friend, Carlos Bonici, who was a Maltese Australian man, gay man, who lived in Sydney. And we being Peter Tully, myself, Jack Allen and Tony Guthrie, had been friends for many years, 15 years. We talked many times about the sort of quilt that each of us wanted, and Carlos's main brief was, make it funny, girlfriend. So we did. I guess for me, every time I've been to the quilt unfolding, the next question is for me, what would I like for a quilt? Because as an HIV positive man, it's something I tend to plan ahead, like making a will and just discussing it with friends, you know, what my wishes are. And that's the assumption that I'll be dead, you know, at some foreseeable time in the future from the virus. And years ago I had very specific requirements for a quilt for myself. Now I'm very easy about it. I just, if someone wants to make one, fine, they don't have to if they don't want to. It doesn't have as much of a central place in my life, you know, the fact of my own quilt. It's really up to those that are around after my death that they can decide what they want to do. Which is nice actually, to be able to let go of that sense of control. I'm very easy about it now. I'd like to be funny and sexy and a lot of things, but I think I'm more focused on making sure I've got a hot obituary photo more than, you know, what the quilt is going to be. Because now I probably won't go to another unfolding for a while, because the last couple of times I've gone, it's been such a profound experience that I'm not sure I need to have that in my life constantly, because as it is, I'm coping with grief and loss all the time. When I first became aware of the quilt in America in about '87, when it was first unfolded, it thrilled me because I thought this is a very strong way to memorialise people. It comes from a really rich tradition in America of making quilts that goes back to the 18th and 17th century in America, but also feminist art in the 70s re-examined the whole notion of quilts and craft, and I thought it had relationships with, say, the way the whole health rights movement began with women asserting their rights for specific health care in the 70s. And I thought this was a really nice visual complement to that sort of analysis. But I guess I wasn't prepared for the power of the ritual of the unfolding. The quilts themselves are extraordinarily strong, but when I first saw it unfolded here with everyone with their shoes off and rotating it and floating, it was beautiful. It was really beautiful. And I've encouraged a lot of my straight friends to come along and participate and watch it being unfolded. Because for them, they don't have the facilities to express grief, as gay men have had to invent forms, and we've done it through lots of ways, through obituaries, through particular forms of wakes after a death, or constructing funeral services. But that's actually been denied a lot of our straight friends who've lost their friends, but I think the quilt is an opportunity to include them in a process for them to come to terms with death. So on that level it's really powerful, but I don't think it's as useful a tool for gay men as it was a few years ago.